So here we go. Hey guys, this is the first time live here. So before we start and get into the whiteboard and really the subjects, don't worry, we have another 1 minute before we start. But please tell me in the chat if the sound is good. If you can hear me clearly, give me a thumbs up when you recommend. Yeah, in the chat. Perfect. Just give me a thumbs up if the sound is good, that you can hear me clearly. And I just gonna adjust the view of the video camera so you can see enough about. Here we go. One thumbs up. Perfect. Nice. Sorry. Nice. That's my first time doing a live chat and a live workshop, and I'm super excited for it. Please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me clearly. Please in the chat just say good, nice, whatever, because it's perfect. We are online. It's amazing. If you want, please write where you're from. Really excited to know. Thumbs up from Tolga. Amazing. Cool. So the sound must be good because I have an external microphone. I'm right now in Holland. I will start in a second, but I just wait for a few more people to come in so you don't miss anything. And I will adjust maybe the whiteboard slightly to the right. Just thinking about putting like this. Oh yeah, you can see better. Amazing. Thumbs up. Amazing. Antwerpen from Belgium. Ik praat ook een beetje Nederlands. Superleuk. I will do this workshop in English because I'm an international surf coach and mostly. Okay, Muff Scruff says, let's go. That sounds perfect. Amazing. Okay, I think we can start. And I'm super excited because, yeah, technology allows us to give you inside information about surfing, how to train, and to know me as a person. Maybe you know me over YouTube channel or Instagram, or you even had a coaching with me. So I'm excited to share you some knowledge here live. So it's amazing. I mean, if I would tell my grandpa, he would be like, no way. But technology allows that. So let's start right into it. Small introduction about myself. I'm ISA2 surf coach, means International Surfing Association. I'm a sports therapist, so I studied sports. I know the biomechanics, the training principles, and I'm coaching surfing over 10 years now. And you see the surf skate already in the back. Yes, I also stepped the first time on a surf skate when it was also 9 years ago, and I applied the surf skating immediately in my coaching, but also in my own surf training. Put the camera a little bit up. Sound is okay. Sound is okay. Perfect. Nice. Cool. I have the first question because here we go. I can ask which level of surfing do you have? Because it's important about the examples. Are you rather intermediate, beginner, or even a coach? Because a lot of people of my community are coaches as well. Please choose quick so I can apply it to the workshop. The workshop won't get longer than an hour, so don't worry. So that's why I want to keep this information really short and compact. So I studied sports. I traveled around the world. I was coaching in Sri Lanka, Morocco, and mostly now with my van full time because I'm the co-founder of Surf Companions together with Flo. You might know it. Flo and we developed the Surf Companions. It's a knowledge book with illustrations, but I don't want to get into that because you know it already. And I developed online courses for you like the surf skate, mobility routine, and whatnot. But today, and that's my biggest passion, is to teach you, because usually I'm in surf camps with 60 people around me every week, and I'm coaching in person. So if I do weird stuff, don't worry, I'm used to that. Real people are here, but I love what's going on in the chat. Let's go. Beginner. Okay, from Turkey even. Amazing. 42% beginner. Okay, then I will do beginner examples. So first of all, I want to tell you something about the principles of training. Yeah, there are some training principles, and you will probably know something more about your body after this small workshop. So I pressed a lot of information which we have in the study in the university, compact together so you will understand it really quick. There are 7 training principles. 7, super easy to remember. The first one is individuality. So everyone is individual. Where are my pens? Everyone is individual. Everyone has an individual body. And yes, a 70-year-old man has to train differently than someone who is 15, teenager. Testosterone is just has energy to the max. So this person, because it's individual different, has to train different. So this is the first one. The second one is specificity. So every sport, you probably do tennis, golf, maybe you play guitar, you piano, whatever it is special. So specificity is really important because every sport is special. I come back to it in a minute. I hope you can see the whiteboard. This is an S. Oh, it's probably mirrored. Doesn't matter. So the next one is progression. The principle of progression. Yes, you will progress somehow when you train. I will come back to that in a minute. The fourth one is overload. So when you overload something, you probably want to have what does overload mean? I come in a minute. I will go into depth about some of those principles. Overload. You don't see that so much, yeah? Maybe I just keep more talking instead of writing. So you have overload in your principles of training, and you have, furthermore, you have adaptation. Adaptation. Yes, adaptation means your body will adapt to something, to the training if you do it right. So adaptation is one of the key training principles you should know about. Adaptation, overload, specificity, individuality, and recovery. Recovery means you recover from something. Yeah, you might know it from an injury. You recover from an injury or even surgery. That's always rehabilitation, but you recover from something. And yes, in training, you also recover. This is one of the principles in training. Okay, recovery. By the way, write quick in the chat if I'm too quick. At least one desktop screen. It's visible. No worries. Perfect. If it's too quick, too slow, or just perfect, write it quick in the chat. If the speed, how I talk and how I go through, is it too quick, it's perfect, or too slow? Probably not too slow. So we keep going. So we have the recovery principle. Come that in a sec. And we have reversibility. The principle of reversibility. Reverse means backwards. Yeah, it sounds a bit negative. It is also a bit negative. Come there in a sec. So reversibility. Why do you have to know those principles? Why do you ever want to hear about it? Yes, there's a whole study about it because those are the rules, the foundations about how to train. And I will come in this workshop, what is the proper and the most important training, or what key points which you have to apply for your surfing and for your surf skating. Actually, you can apply it also to your sports. I hope you do sports at home, because I will go in depth in only a few of those principles. Otherwise, we wouldn't have time. So there are rules in sports, in general in sports, and we call it the principles. So the principle of sports. Let's have a look. The most important one for you is the specificity. Specificity is special. Yeah, it's specific. So surfing is a specific sport. So for example, if you do a 500-meter swim, so you swim for 500 meters, it doesn't train your surfing. It will help you to get endurance for your overall fitness, but it doesn't improve or train your surfing at all. Your stance or like how you ride the wave, but it will help you to overall. So every sport is specific, and you should practice and train that specific sport. So there's a principle. So the first principle is don't do golfing and hope that your tennis will get better. So it's not really training your tennis if you play golf. It sounds maybe stupid, but I will. This is what it says about specificity. Specificity. So it's special. Every sport is special. The same as piano. You cannot play guitar and hope that your piano skills will get better. Another one I want to focus is recovery. Recovery, the principle of recovery is the following. Give me a quick thumbs up if you do sports in general when you're at home. It doesn't matter which sport. If you do sports outside from surfing or surf skating at home, maybe you do fitness, you do yoga, you go to the gym, you do athletics. Give me a thumbs. Oh, there's Nicole, Luca, they all do sports. Amazing. Timmy as well. Fit people here in the chat. Fit people here. Amazing. So what I want to show you, and you might know it, but the principle of recovery is really important, because when you see that is a timeline, and this is usually your fitness level. It's around here. And you do a training. We talk about one day. You do a training session. What happens is you will get weaker. Because your fitness and that moment, you're more tired. Your muscles are tired. You did a lot of sports. What happens is if you don't let your body recover, so you go a bit down in your fitness, and you keep in that moment, instead of let the body recover, you immediately hit the next training. What will happen is that your body will, never have time to recover. You go actually in a bionegative state, which is really bad for your body. So what you rather should do is the following. So you keep going. The first training comes here, it goes down. But now you let your body rest and recover. So there are different rules. I don't want to go into it, but for example, the quickest are the muscles will recover, but the tendons take a long time because the blood flow is a bit less, and so on, and the soft tissues. But for you have to know, if you do training, you have to have time to recover. Also for your central nervous system, but especially for your body. So you recover. What happens is the body tells, wait a second, we had training. We had an intense activity. We have to get stronger. Now comes the principle of adaptation. So your body will adapt, your muscles will adapt, and you will get a higher fitness level. Here we go. So the very first one is recover properly after your training, because otherwise you get injuries. So have enough sleep, good nutrition, no stress, for example. So those are the tips for a good recovery. So my question to you guys, by the way, all the beginners, did you ever went to a surf class, or you never surfed before? Just let me know. Just write never or surf camp or surf school. That would be super interesting, because almost 50% of you beginner guys are beginners. So write down quick if you had a surf course or you never surfed before. Excited to know. I did. Perfect, Matilda. Matilda did. So we have recovering time, which is super important. Another important principle which you have to have in mind is about the adaptation, so the progression. You will get better, your body. I will ask you an honest question. Do you remember the first time you had to run maybe 2 or 3 kilometers? In school, we all had to do it. So when you run the first 3 kilometers, you never run before. How do you feel after that day? You feel horrible. Or the first time, the really first time you went for intense training into the gym, you feel horrible. Your body is just screaming, pain, why are you doing this to me? I understand, because there's no adaptation. There's like an stimulus, we call it like training, and then suddenly your body's like, what's happening? So your body will adapt. Imagine you would run every 2 or 3 days, 3 kilometers. After 1, 2, 3 weeks, those 3 kilometers will feel easy, because your body will adapt. That's the principle of adaptation. So it doesn't matter if it's only surfing, if it's yoga, if it's tennis, if it's running, if it's golfing, whatever it is, your body will adapt to it. Make sense? Cool. I'm a coach, surf school. I go to surfing school. Nice. Amazing. Cool. I like that you interact with me, guys. So I feel a bit that you're in this room. Amazing. So the principle of adaptation is super important, because now it comes. Even if you went to a surf camp for a week, or you plan your next surf trip, a lot of my students did the biggest mistake ever. They never prepared for it. They just came and they were like, oh yeah, cool, surfing, let's do it together. After the first day, they have muscle pain to the max. They never did it. And they feel, usually they say like, oh, I should have prepared, I should have trained beforehand. And yes, I agree because of that, because of adaptation. So have a look again. If you look at the timeline, and let's say there's a few weeks, you can see, yeah, a few weeks of fitness. So you start here, your fitness levels around that. Whatever you do, it doesn't matter if you go to a gym, CrossFit, maybe running, your goal is to have more endurance, whatever it is, or more power. You start around here. What happens is you do the first training, first training go down. Recovery time, you go up, body says, wait a second, that was heavy training. We have to make the muscle bigger, stronger, or more endurance or more volume in your lungs to have better fitness to overcome this sort of training. So what happens is recovery, training, recovery, training. Well, you'll see that your fitness level progresses. It goes more up. It's really simple, but it is what it is. So it means, imagine you do nothing the whole year and you booked your surf trip. Surfing looks so nice, beautiful. Yeah, you have to paddle some, but I'm young, I can do it. You never did like training before, and you come into this week with your fitness like here, and then suddenly you have to train. Oh no, learn something new. Paddle, you never did. And then the next day, well, I have muscle pain. Boom, you go down, 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 down. You only have pain and you suffer a bit. It's not really suffering, but what I want to give you or make you understand, please prepare for your trips. Stay active. Why does football, probably a lot of football players here, usually, are there football players? Let me know in the chat quick. Are there football players? Or they play cricket and hockey here a lot. So if you have team sports, what does the coach tells you? Stay busy in the off season. It's not just like, oh yeah, we did the season, amazing, I'm fit, and then I do nothing for 3 months. No, because there's a principle of reversibility. Yes, reverse. It will go down. And have that quote in mind. Use it or lose it. Please write it down. By the way, maybe in between I say something important, write it down in your phone off in your notes. Or if you have already surf companions, we have in the back some notes. Use it or lose it. Why do I say that? Not even you have to train, but your current fitness level, it doesn't matter if it's your fitness level in surfing, in swimming, in gym, whatever it is. If you stop doing it, if you stop any activity, you will lose it. Your muscle will go backwards. Like it will go smaller, weaker. Yeah, I remember because I had a shoulder injury a while, and the muscles are going back because you don't use it anymore. What happens is you have to build and train it up one by one again. So we have those different principles, and I hope you understand those principles because we can adjust to our training. It doesn't matter if you're swimming, hockey, football, whatever it is, but I focus obviously on surf skating and surfing right now. Give me quick a thumbs up if you understood those principles. Principles understood? It's amazing. Live. Done 3 courses. Super. Hi. Luca, thumbs up. Yes, cool. Nice. Timmy understood. Amazing. Super. So those principles, I could go more into depth, but it's more like sports study, and we coaches, we have to know them because we have to apply to your training. But you know now, wait a second, if I want to be a better surfer, or I just surf one time in a surf school, for the next time to be more ready, please train. It doesn't matter if train in your own style, but at least do something. Yes, surfing is not just, I have to be admitted, like not like golfing, you're like just standing there. It's really physical. It's really physical, and we have to do. And people are sometimes even tired by bringing their boards to the beach. Yeah, and I hope you don't want to be one of them. So please train beforehand. There are different ways of training, but please train beforehand, because when the fitness level, the general fitness level is up, you will have more fun in the water. Make sense? Cool. I keep going. So generally, I come to the next step. I keep it really simple about training. Let's have in mind, you never surfed again, or when you remember your first surf trip, you probably know about the parts of the surfboard, and then the coach maybe taught you the takeoff, he or she taught you how to pedal. I want to keep it all general and simple, and I make you understand now 3 things. The 3 most important things is about learning new stuff, like for example, you never surf skated or you never surfed before, but the new stuff, it doesn't matter if it's piano, whatever, 3 things which are happening during your training. And it's the following. The very first one is learning. Yes, you learn something new. So when you come to a surf camp, you never heard about surfing, or you never heard about piano or guitar, whatever it is, you first have to learn something. How do you start learning language? You first have to hear it, whatever, but you learn it first. The next step after learning is practicing. So you practice what you just learned. So you practice. By the way, I keep everything really simple and understandable because otherwise we wouldn't have time and so on. So the first is learning. The second one is you practice what you just learned. So I give you an example. For example, you come to a surf camp and he's like, this is a board. Okay, I learned this is a board. This is the nose. This is the tail. I understand. Cool. Oh, this is pedaling. Oh, this is how I pedal. Yeah. Nothing is smooth. You have to really think about this stuff. You're like, oh yeah, pedaling, okay. Pedaling from here till here. Oh yeah, more strokes, okay. I understand. So you learn something totally new and then you practice it. The last part, and this is the third part, is, you probably know it. I hope one of my coaches know it. I ask in the chat quick, do you know the third one? Learn, practice, and I give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. I write it down. No one? Everyone is scared to write something down. What is it? Repeat. Nice. This is also nice. Almost. Yeah. Repeat is more like repeat is practicing. Learn, practice, and train. So you train something. You probably wonder, hey, well, train and practice is almost the same. No. By definition, learn is something totally new. New language, new piano, whatever it is, surfing, boom. The most progress you get here. Why? Because learning, imagine, I never played tennis, and someone gives me a tennis racket into my hand. I have a progression of 100% because I never had a tennis racket in my hand. So this improvement is a lot. The second one is practice. I have to practice certain things which I learned. Training, and now it comes, a lot of people don't know it, but a sports student know, training is actually practicing plus harder conditions. Okay, I come wait a second. So you have learned something totally new, and you have to practice. Okay, I learned, for example, tennis. Aha, okay. Oh, I have to practice this. Oh, that feels weird. I never felt that. And training is a little bit harder than practicing. So, for example, with training, you train specific movements in that practicing thing of movement you have to do. You will understand in a second. So I will give you an example in surf skating and surfing. So you have to know, because this is one of the most common mistakes I see in coaching, different color. Most common mistake is that most people, it doesn't matter which sport, mostly in surfing and surf skating, they focus on train and a bit of practicing. So around here. So their whole training and practicing, if they do something, they focus on here. But now comes my question to you for your understanding. It is super important as a coach. You see the most mistakes happening with learning and practicing because it's totally new for you. Okay, someone tells you, okay, you have to, let's stay with the takeoff at surfing. You have to take off, okay, put your hands next to the chest, put your hands next to the chest. Then the first one is push up. Okay, we call glide, yeah, glide, leg, and through. Okay, glide, leg, and through. Okay, I have to glide, leg, and through. So the first mistake could be if someone teaches you wrong. But let's admit you have one of the surf companions, ambassador coaches, or me on the beach, and then we have amazing knowledge. So learning, boom, I learned something new. Boom, I learned a takeoff. Amazing. But it's the first time. So what comes next? Practicing. Or how that thief one said, repeat. You have to repeat doing it with practice. It sounds simple, but now it comes with practicing because you never did it. Most of the mistakes are happening. So when you practice glides, leg, and through, you have to use keywords. I'm talking about takeoff. Okay, yeah, but you probably look down because you never did it. Oh, no one told you to look up, for example. This is common mistakes when you do takeoff. Look up instead of look between your hands because it makes takeoff easier. Write it down. But the practicing part is the most difficult one as a coach point of view because you as a student or as a learning surfer, you do the most mistakes in the practicing part. Training, on the other hand, is, for example, you make it a little bit harder. Those steps you need for practicing. So I give you an easy example, what we did with the takeoff, because you're beginners, mostly you're beginners, and the beginners, you probably learned the 3-step takeoff. You first do glide, then the back leg, and then through between your hands. I will adjust the camera so I can stay more active. So you have 3 movements. So you first have the glide. I do it for G. Then you have the first glide, or you call it a push. Whoop, you push yourself up. Then you have the back leg. Let's maybe do a B as back leg or frog leg, I say. And the third one is through. Leg, through, or there's a T for through. Okay, whatever you say, you can also call it 1, 2, and 3. But the cool thing is, or later with a cutback or re-entry, when you go intermediate into maneuvers, you have 3 steps for the whole thing. So learning means I learned it, okay, it has to go like this. Glide, leg, and through. Those are the 3 steps. Practicing is, oh yeah, I have to practice, okay, maybe a bit faster or slower. This is the practicing part. And the training part is, you take those 3 steps and maybe, because you're an individual, principle of individuality, you're probably really slow or you're not that flexible and it's really hard for you to bring that front leg through, for example, then you can work on those 3 steps. So us as a coach, and this is our most of the work, we see like gliding, perfect. Leg here through, also perfect, no problem. But here, there's some flexibility, more flexibility necessary. Sorry, I missed the word. Necessary. And then we work on that. So we train this particular thing and we say like, okay, cool. Go out, do an exercise. We train now together only to bring the leg through. What helps us is, for example, look up during the last part, look up during the last part. And then we use it 30 times. You practice only on that thing. And then you put it together again. So what the most common mistake is, you do the whole movement and just practice the whole movement. In between, there could be 1 or 2 steps little bit wrong or could hold you back, which the whole thing is not, let's say, not perfect. I hope you understood it. So with the proper training, you can train on particular steps, or even harder. What do you think is probably harder, doing a takeoff on say flat ground, or is it harder on a, like say, shaky underground? It's probably, of course, it's harder on a shaky underground. So it's still the same movement. You glide, you leg, you through, but you're on shaky underground. Means on a shaky ground. The shaky ground makes it more difficult. And this is training. Automatically, it's training. Or another question. For example, the practicing part, the movement has to be takeoff, boom, glide, leg, and through. This is the takeoff. How to make it more difficult? How to train it? Maybe close your eyes. Please never close your eyes. Once you're in the water and you do the takeoff, please never close your eyes. But, for example, close your eyes. Okay, legs, thing, and through. So this is training, because in the water you don't do it, but it helps you outside to train. So we as coaches, we have a lot of drills, exercises, which we can train with our students, which improves your surfing. So my question is, why do I have to know this? Because the most common mistakes I see with my students, and also online and with everyone who has a surf skate or surfing, they just focus on the practice and training part. It's like, yeah, I'm just doing this. But beforehand, they not even know how it properly performed. And I give you an example. For example, I said 2 times example now. I was in a bar in Portugal. I have to be honest with you guys. It was amazing experience because there were some intermediate surfers. Intermediate surfers are someone who can catch green waves by themselves. They paddle out, duck dive. They can do everything. By the way, if there's some vocabulary you don't know, don't worry. Everything is in the book anyway. Haha. But I was in the bar drinking a beer. And then one guy said, like, yeah, I saw your book, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'm a coach. And it's like, you want coaching? And he's like, nah, I don't need coaching. And I was like, okay, cool. Don't worry. Not everyone needs coaching or wants coaching. It's all good. And then I just started talking with him, super interesting. And I asked him, yeah, but then you for sure know how bottom turn works, right? Bottom turn. Bottom turn is one of the most key maneuvers you need as a progressive surfer to really go down and up to hit the lip again and do whatever you want up there. So I asked him, of course, you know how to do a bottom turn. And I asked him, yeah, okay, what do you do with a bottom turn? And he suddenly started to, how do you say, make excuses or like, yeah, you just do this. You know, I was like, okay, what in particular are you doing? Tell me. And then he said, yeah, you just have to rotate here. And yeah, you go down. He not even really knew what he was actually doing. You probably have some friends who are skiing since they're 4 and they're like skiing and they just can do it. They just do it naturally because they grew up from little small. On the other hand, I had to train my surfing because I started later in my surfing career and I had to really learn every step. That's why I also made every little mistake there could be made. That's why I hope I can teach you here some really cool stuff so you don't do the mistakes. So once again, back to the bar, I asked him, so you know how to do a bottom turn? Yeah, you were struggling. And I was like, okay, how about you compress? I was just sitting there. How about you compress? Okay, he was standing there. Like, how do you stand normally? Okay, I'm compress. Okay, he compress. And now you reach with your forehand forward and hold. I just told him this. Wait, I have to adjust the camera so you see it. So he did the following. He compressed. He reached forward with his front hand and stayed and looked up the lip. This is the movement you need as a bottom turn. You compress, you reach forward, and you hold. That's really important, that hold part, because your board, when you go down, have to hold before you can perform the re-entry. So he not even knew exactly what he has to do or what he has to perform as a bottom turn. Don't worry, beginners. This is a maneuver which calls a basic maneuver, but don't worry, you will talk about green waves and takeoff and timing. It's all good. Only for you to understand that it's the most important part. The first exercise for all of you guys. You understood now. Learn, practice, and train. Tonight, I want you, if you have time or next few times, go through in your head what you learned from the surf camps, from your coaches, which maneuvers, for example, paddling out into lineup or when to start paddling. Then you really look at paddling. Wait a second. Do I know how to paddle? So the learning part, do I really know, okay, are my fingers like this or together? Do I have to stroke from here till here? So ask yourself, do I learn proper? Do I have the proper knowledge? Because only then you can go to step 2 and practice it. If you fail here already, oh wait, I'm not really sure how it's performed. Why would you go to practicing? Because then the first mistake happens. So a lot of people see one time something or from a friend, and then you just have to do this, and then you try it, and it's wrong. And please, this is one of my most important parts in coaching, and you probably agree what I'm going to say. Yeah, you definitely agree because it's true. It doesn't matter which activity, but if you do mistakes in a movement and you did it a lot of times, your body did all those movements, those wrong movements, a lot of time. It's almost automated in your body. To really tell your body, wait a second, please don't do that anymore, is 1,000 times harder instead of learning something totally new. Okay, I repeat it again. It is 1,000 times harder to avoid or to change something wrong, which was automated, instead of teaching you something totally new. And please, that's why I should focus, if I were you, always first on the learning part, like to know exactly what I'm doing, what kind of exercises, how to perform a bottom turn, how to perform a cutback, what are the actual steps. Then I practice, and then I train. Train is harder than practicing, because the training, if you put the training in, your practicing will be easy. It will feel easy. I will never forget that moment where I was 45 minutes on a surf skate. I trained with my friend on flat ground on the surf skate. We trained bottom turn, re-entry, bottom turn, re-entry. We practiced that for 45 minutes. Then we said, like, let's hit the water. I heard the waves are good. We went immediately in the water, and because our body remembered the movements, we call it also the muscle memory, we went in and we could just perform already. It felt like fluent. It felt amazing. So, and that's why I'm going to grab the surf skate now in the back here. The surf skate is so handy. I don't want to make advertising, because we don't sell the surf skates, but I want to make advertising about the training, because it helped me so much and all my students which I train with, because you have learned, practice, and train. The amazing part, which Duffy once said, repeat, 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 there is the most work in repeat. Repeat and train is the most work. Like I said, if you have the proper knowledge, you learn, you understand, oh, I have to compress, reach, and hold, for example, for bottom turn. By the way, this is in page 40 of your intermediate book, if you want to have the bottom turn in front of you, page 40. Compress, reach, and hold. Then you have to practice. And the coolest thing is, to be honest, guys, if we're in a surf session, you probably have between 10 and 15 waves per session, right? And if you have only 10 to 15 waves, if it's a good session, you can only practice 10 to 15 times your bottom turn. And now comes the surf skate, so handy, because the surf skate, you can train thousands of times. You go on your surf skate when it's a sunny day, in the midday with your friends, and you can practice, 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 repetition, 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 the right movements. The coolest thing about that, it will become automated. So I see it with students, but I agree. For example, when you started your own sports, it doesn't matter which sport, or your instrument, you play the guitar, violin, whatever it is. At the beginning, it feels like and slow and step, and it doesn't look cool, whatever. But then your body gets used to it. It will adapt. It will feel more fluent, like, oh, yes. I will never forget the feeling in training, or you probably agree, when you have that feeling of the first few weeks. It feels horrible. It feels, oh, why it's so heavy, and it doesn't feel nice. But if you keep in the work and training, after 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 surf sessions, maybe 4 surf holidays, it feels easy and fluent. And the cool thing is, the surf skate, when you train on land, can give you that feeling of progression in your maneuvers and the feeling really quick. But now comes my most common mistakes about training itself and what to avoid. Okay, you ready? Cool. First of all, I want to ask you a question. 52% are beginner. I give you another question. Are you surf skating already? Do you have a surf skate, and are you surf skating, or are you trained to surf skate? Let me know. Not yet or yes. Let me know quick, so I know how many percent of you are already surf skating or have experience with surf skate, or are you not surf skating? Thumbs up with Nicole. Amazing. Quick water for me. I love it. Yeah. By the way, I have a big present for you guys at the end of the session after the question, but it will come soon. So don't worry, it won't be that long. So I hope you understand that the repetition, surf skate, yes, cool. So the surf skate, maybe you experienced yourself that with surf skating, you can train a lot, hundreds, thousands of times. The best thing is you can film yourself with a phone, or you ask a friend, film me quick, boom. A friend of mine, Iñaki, is one of my students from North Spain. he has amazing progression in surf skating and also in his surfing. So because it's so close to surfing, it's not like a cruiser, it's not skateboarding. We even sometimes call it surf trainer because it trains your surfing instead of surf skating. It's not really skating, it's more like really enhancing your progress in your surfing. But once again, when you know the proper surf knowledge, for example, from YouTube, I have a YouTube channel, or the proper surf book. For example, you know the techniques about bottom turn, re-entry, and cutback, step by step explained in the Surf Companion, then you know what to do. You know the steps, and now you can practice with the surf skate. But there are common mistakes. 86% just started. Oh, nice, Nicole, super, just started surf skating. But the common mistakes in practicing and training is the following. Like I said, with the muscles and the principles, if you don't use it, you will lose it. Easier said than done. So have in mind that quote, use it or lose it. Means not even your muscles, but also your progress in surfing and surf skating. I play piano and cello since I've been 6, and my teacher always told me, and if you play instrument, usually teachers say that it is way more important to do an activity or train or practice something way better 10 minutes every day instead of an hour once a week. Write it down. Please write it down. Rather do 10 minutes a day, for example, push-ups, or 10 minutes a day takeoff training, 10 minutes a day when it's sunny, take your surf skate, go on a surf skate and train a bottom turn, instead of going one time on a Saturday, where it's anyway busy, for a whole hour. Why? Your body will adapt, and because of the principle of reversibility, you won't lose the progress you did with your training because you continuously train and practice. So your body, your knowledge, your central nervous system will get way quicker automated instead of just training once a week. So the first common mistake which I see in training and practicing with my students, they just hit the fitness or hit the surfing training or the surf skating only once a week or once every 2 weeks, and then it's in the basement and you don't use it again. If you want to improve your surfing or your surf skating, rather do it shorter training times, but then more often. If you do it more often, it will become more natural. So this is the mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is that you go on a surf skate, you do it once, and then it's okay, I do it a few times, the first sweat is coming, and then you stop. No. Usually with training, you have to put a lot of work in. So the first 1,000, 2,000 maneuvers, movements in your body, and then it gets automated. So it doesn't matter. Maybe in your job, you're really quick in doing something because you trained it over and over and hours. There is a saying about those 10,000 hours, and then you're a professional. Please don't get me wrong, you don't have to go 10,000 hours of a surf skate, but you might heard about the 10,000 hours. If you want to be really good at something, for example, as a photographer, you do have to put 10,000 hours of that into your expertise, and then you will get an expert because you trained it so much. So please, the common mistake number 2 is when you train, they just use the surf skate, you do it 2-3 times, and then it's gone. No, like I said, when you know which step you have to train, for example, we stay, because you don't do a takeoff on a surf skate, we do the bottom turn again, compress, reach, and hold, page number 40 in your intermediate book. So we have compress, reach, and hold. By the way, I have a whole YouTube video about that. I can give you the link later with your present. But compress, reach, and hold. A lot of people, they just do it one time, compress, and then they reach, and then they hold, and then they think, oh, I can do a bottom turn. No, do it over and over again. So please don't do the second common mistake. Stay at one maneuver, for example, and train for 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes, only this maneuver. So it becomes natural to be on your surf skate, you compress, you reach, and you hold. Look up, what, it feels amazing, and you feel the turning. Don't do like turning, wibbling, speed, then something else, cutback. So you mix all those things, but all those particular maneuvers are wrong. You know what I mean? I hope you understand. Give me a quick thumbs up if you understood that part. So the second common mistake is that the people are like doing it way too quick, everything, and then they do it only a few times and that's it, instead of slowly, step by step. Understood? Perfect. The last common mistake is when you train something, don't do the whole movement already. Whole movement means, oh yeah, I know already is that compress, reach and hold. Okay, and then you go re-entry, twist and look. This is too much. So if you really train, like I said before, learn, practice and train, you can train every little step and then put it together. For example, a surf skate training for you could look like a bottom turn. We stay with the bottom turn. Bottom turn is you compress, you reach, and you hold. And that time your board comes through. Maybe you filmed yourself or you got a video analysis from me. By the way, I can review your videos. You know the drill. Wait a second. In stage 4, we call it also the phase 4. Your holding is not really there. So you compress nice. You compress. This is step 1 of the bottom turn. You reach forward. Amazing, because you compress and you reach. But then you don't hold. You go immediately up. You decompress. But without the hold, your body and your board won't turn and do a proper bottom turn. So phase 3, it's like holding doesn't really exist. But who's telling you that? If you don't have a coach next to you or someone who can watch your videos, you probably never know. It's like, you just recognize, wait a second, I'm not really turning. What's wrong? I compress, reach and hold. I know that. I learned it. I practice it, but it's not really working. Or stage 1 is not really proper. So you don't compress. You just reach and you hold. So for example, you don't compress. You just reach and you hold. And it's not really turning because the compression is missing. So first you have to learn. You have to know those 3 steps. And with your training, please take my advice and train every little step first, slowly, with control. First, without the surf skate, like when it's really new, something for you, without the surf skate, stands like this. Okay, wait a second, I have to compress, I have to reach. Okay, wait a second. Look, this is already too much. I don't play it. If it's really new, so it is in that speed. You compress, you reach, and you hold. Okay, cool. And then I hold it, yeah? Those 3 things, instead of going compress, reach, and hold, and you do mistakes, train it step by step, and then put it together. Put it together and do it repetition after repetition. Practice, 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 practice. Understood? I hope you understood that. Give me quick thumbs up if you understood. Now, to avoid the 3rd common mistake, do it slow and step by step. Give me a thumbs up. Jennifer, Asma, Karen, Elodie. I hope I pronounced it right. Cool. Yes, a lot of you guys are DeLuca. Nice. Okay, you understood that. So it doesn't matter if it's your bottom turn, if it's your re-entry, if it's your cutback, like here in the maneuvers, you might have it already, or generating speed in your Surf Companion book. If you do a re-entry step by step, you can apply this to your surf skating. But last but not least, I want to ask you a question. Here we go. Nah, I do it personally. Perfect. I do it perfect. So you know about the principles. You know about the learn, practice, and train. To make it more difficult is actually training and then practicing. You know you have to be continuously doing that so you don't get the reversibility principle, so you won't understand it anymore and whatnot. You hopefully understood that you have to train for your next surf trip. And to be honest, the coolest thing, which this wasn't, I knew it, really, I knew it. 2013, I stepped the first, it was a slide surf skate. I stepped on it. I knew they will improve my surfing a lot, because yes, swimming, paddling training, catching wave is still the most amazing feeling to catch a green wave. Yes, for you beginners, if you're not caught your green wave already, this is the feeling we're looking for. And the surf skating helps you with all the maneuvers. But please don't do the mistakes I see so many times on Instagram Reels and whatever. That's why I developed the online course for you guys, because I step by step explain you with video tutorials how it's been done from the beginning. So I want to give you the first question of today. Did you like what we did so far? Give me a thumbs up, like a workshop. Should I do it more often? Wait a second. I asked this question because I'm interested. Should I do more often online workshop? Yes or no? Not really. I put it in. That would be amazing to know you guys. You can be really honest, because my goal is to make you as a better surfer. Flo, the illustrator and the co-founder, we combined our main goal with the Surf Companions, Instagram, YouTube, whatnot, is to improve your surfing. And the surf trainer helps a lot. Also the online review, what you can go, and of course the surf books. So the learning and practicing part, even the training parts as a coach, I saw already in the chats, there are already some coaches there. That we are responsible for everything you do out there. But the thing is, question to you guys, if you want to play guitar, you go to a guitar teacher. If you want to play the violin, you go to a violin teacher. It's fantastic to see that a lot of people who did a beginner course, for example, in a camp or a school, they just stop. They think like, I know everything. No, this is just the basics. And now the fun part begins. And this is incredible. So my question to you was, should I do more online workshop? Amazing. Today's subject was more about training and training principles. There are 100 million topics I can talk about, which you also see in my YouTube channel and videos. But like I said, I still want to ask you the possibility to ask me some questions. So like I said in my advertising, I put the last 10 minutes as a Q&A, and please let me know what is the best system for surf skate, as the C7 or the CX. I have to be honest, the Smooth Star, have a look. Please ask me yes, more workshop, please. Sandy, cool, that's amazing to hear. I want you to give you the possibility now to ask some questions, please. Ask me some questions about training, about surfing, about surf skating, whatever you like, please. Wait, I put it more down. Yeah, I want to show you the surf skate quick. The surf skate, what makes it so special is here the trucks in the front. Yeah, you see it already. I forgot. I always mix it up if it's the C7 or the CX. Michael just asked which system is the best. To be honest, I have to be honest with you guys. We are sponsored with Smooth Star because a lot of brands contacted me because of the YouTube channels I do. But we're not just going with any brand, or we don't support any brand so quick. But to be honest, Smooth Star or Slide, I have to be honest, but Smooth Star is, in our opinion, the top of the top about surf skate and surf training. So there are other brands like Slide, Curveboard is a German brand, for example. A friend of mine works there or develops even with them. So there are great boards out there. But really important for you to know is that truck is super flexible, because that allows you to make tight maneuvers even in flat ground. So imagine you stand on it and it goes really like, ooh, down there, woo, and you can train your bottom turn, re-entry, or cutback. Okay, I have some questions. What is, in your opinion, the best breathing technique? Luca, you mean breathing technique in paddling or in general? Like, do I breathe through my nose, or Michael Preston? Tricks, yeah. Here we go. Yeah, Marvin is a coach and ambassador for us. He just had the answer. Here we go with the CX truck. You can make it more tricks, and the basic is the C7, where you can find the book for training. Hey, Jennifer, the Surf Companions, you obviously can go on surfcompanions.com and our website and order it online. We have a beginner and an intermediate one. But back to your breathing technique, Luca, can you explain one more time what do you mean with breathing technique? You mean hold your breath techniques, or you can find a book for training? By the way, guys, I still have an amazing present for you before you leave. The last 4 minutes. It's holding your breath. Okay, perfect. Holding your breath. Luca, you have to understand that to have a real simulation in surfing, I trained it myself. I was in really big waves in Portugal, and beforehand I trained in a pool. So the breathing techniques, there are a lot of breathing apnoe trainings. I would recommend it for everyone who's interested who is scared of drowning in surfing. There's a big fear, obviously. I'm a trained lifesaver with coaches, and I never had to rescue someone with because I was holding down so much. This is more like big wave surfing. So if you don't surf really, I don't know, it's a double overhead free, then you don't have to worry. But it gives you a lot of confidence. I totally agree. So holding your breath, it's always good to know, and to know that I can hold my breath. First of all, you should divide by training with, if you're totally calm, for example, on the pool side, you calm and you hold your breath. This is a different training. Instead of, you might saw on Instagram, some people are in Hawaii when the water, the surface, between the surface and the ground is not so much, and they dive down, they get a big rock, and then they walk even, holding their breath, and walk under the water in the sand. I did it with a kettlebell in a pool. Obviously, I said to the rescue guy, to the lifeguard, hey, I'm going to train with the kettlebell, have a look. And he's like, yeah, do it, cool. So this is real training because you are active and you're holding your breath. So yes, to have a capacity to train, it's like in a how you say, a quiet environment, and your body is totally calm and your pulse and everything is down. To train your breathing or to hold your breath, so train that. But I should also combine it. For example, you swim a bit, like a few laps, and then try to hold your breath, because your pulse is really high, and to hold your breath is probably around 20 seconds if you're good. But have in mind, if you get held down by a wave, it's usually between 2 and 5 seconds max. But if you know already, I trained, I swam a few lanes, and then I go down, hold my breath. A big exercise is mentally. I want to give you that tip, guys. I always have fun, even if I have a wipeout. A wipeout is if I would get totally the washing machine with the waves. So what I do my head protection, and then in my head, I try to relax and tell my head, oh, this is fun, woohoo, yeah, before the wave spits me out, and then it's all good and calm again. Why do I do that? You have to relax, because your muscles need a lot of oxygen in that moment. If you stay in this cramped position, oxygen. That's why you see some really good surfers, when there's really big waves, there's a small trick. Right before the wave comes, they start to laugh. They're really like, ha ha ha, because there was a really fake laugh. Because when you laugh, you release your body tension, and you get a lot of oxygen in beforehand. So another pro tip, so I see it in front of me. If you guys laugh already at every smashing wave who's coming in front of you, I know you watch this online workshop. Okay, I have some one more question. Where can I find a book? Yeah, I can recommend both books. Oh, hey, Care, that's really nice of you. I was recommended to a bar from the 90%. I once recommend to not pass the bar more than 90 centimeters, 1 meter. I'm still in the white water. Okay, cool. You mean like when the waves are bigger, Jennifer, that you're a bit like you would not recommend that it's 1 meter? Yes and no, because it's depending how the waves are breaking. If it's a really thick, smooth wave, but still a bit high, is not dangerous. But if you, for example, at a shallow reef and it's 1 meter really high, even that a half a meter can be already more dangerous than a thicker wave, which slowly crumbles in. For example, North Spain, you have some long wave spots. Guys, do you have, now we reached already an hour, which is amazing. I could keep on talking the whole way. I'm super appreciate that you stayed that long anyway here. This is amazing. And here have interactions. We will definitely improve or do it a few more times. Guys, have you another question? Do you have another question? Let me know quick before I give you the present. Thanks from Bordeaux. Amazing, Jennifer. Super. Bordeaux. Yeah, I usually spend my summers in Vieux-Picot. It's really close to Osgore and Moyetz. So, je parle un petit peu français. How you handle a wipe out when you drop on reef. Finland is even here. Wow, okay. So there was one last question from Luca. How do you handle a wipeout when you drop on a reef? First of all, when you get a wipeout on a reef, it's really important to do the sea star fall. So you never dive when you reckon, oh no, I'm going to do a wipeout. Never dive. Yeah. So go with your head first or with foot first. Try to lean backwards like as a sea star and do the head protection. Like to try to land flat as possible. This is the most important tip I can give you over the reef. Another tip is to avoid it, to really know in which tide, so low to high tide, which is getting more shallow and how the reef is formed. If it's your first time surfing there, I would definitely recommend to ask people or locals, nice, friendly locals, to help you to make you the reef understand, to understand the reef better before you surf. By the way, if you never knew, I'm German. I can speak Dutch, and I do everything coaching usually in English. But if you like, that's super. Maybe some, because some people text me on Instagram say, "Hey, I thought you're Dutch, but I'm German." But actually, I've never. Okay, it doesn't matter. Private stuff. So I have another present for you guys. Are you ready for the present? Come on, guys. Come. Last thing. You want to have the present? Let me know. Thumbs up. Thumbs up or thumbs down? No one wants presents. It's almost Christmas. It's almost Christmas time. So I have a small present. Oh yeah, present. Timmy wants a present. Because you stayed that long and you're really interested and you're real people here, I want to give you a big present. I don't want to give you 10, 20, 30, 40. I want to give you 50%. 50% off on the video analyzing review. So if you have surfing videos of yourself, or even better, surfskate videos of yourself, I can review as a coach. I will review those videos and I will give you an analyze back spoken with some drawings in between. If you're interested, I send you the link in a minute and you get 50% off with review 50. You can't see it. And you get 50% off. And now that's the biggest one. If you're interested about surf skating, I give you really, you're the only guys who get it now. You get 50% off discount off the work with the workshop 50 because you joined the workshop. I'm gonna write it quick in the chat in for the surf skate course. I did a surf skate course, which is usually 89 euros, but you get it for 50%, but only today because you're the workshop people. So I want to give you with this workshop 50. If you put that in the checkout, if you're interested in a surf skate, you just have to wait a second. Here we go. I sent you the link right away. If you go to courses and the surf skate course, but only because I really want to support you guys. There's a lot of time, effort, and how do you say, time and effort in there. But I give you 24 hours to get 50% of the course, and then that code doesn't work anymore. But nevertheless, the second present is the second present is the review 50. So that one, it's a special one for you guys. It will last until you use it. Please don't. You can give it to one friend, but don't give it to everyone. Because then I will review your videos also with 50% off. because I want to support you guys. I want to improve your knowledge with the books, with the courses, and so on. So here is the surfskate course. If you never saw it, here's the website, easy access to it. And with the coaching, you can just go into here, and I might see you then as a video review on my iPad, and then I will discuss it, because I can voice message over, and then you understand, oh, which step is not working and what kind of things I have to improve. Okay, I asked you the question already if I should do more workshops, and the last thing I want to ask you today for maybe the next workshop, what kind of topics you're interested, or what kind of topics you struggle most right now. You're probably at home, or even if you're close to the beach, you can still improve your surfing. But I have to experience, our audience, our community is mostly travel surfers. So let me know what kind of things you're struggling most in surfing, or what you want to improve on, and what you never understood in surfing. So I might do a YouTube video about it. And yeah, I'm looking so forward for the next one, but I give you another minute to answer that question. Small sip of the water. And yeah, fitness and diet, amazing, cool, nice. Fitness and diet. By the way, a small personal, I give you another small personal story. Guys, I'm going to do no alcohol for a year. I choose to do it because I read a book. I forgot the title, but I give you another personal motivational tip. If you want to change something in your life, you not just have to say like, oh, on weekends I don't do this and this anymore, or I want to wake up, blah, blah, blah. You have to change your identity first. It helped me a lot. So for example, if you want to change bad habits about fitness or food, you first have to change your identity and tell yourself, wait a second, I'm a surf athlete. Surfers are athletes. If you're an athlete, would an athlete really drink alcohol and next day training? It doesn't make sense. A real athlete wouldn't do that. So a small pro tip is you have to change your identity first, and then the change will come way easier. Thanks for the big deal. Amazing. You're welcome. Eyeball is surf skating right now. That's even cooler. Okay, hand positioning from Jesse. Positioning in green waves. That's a good one. Paddling faster. Okay, super. Do you like alpine trucks with bushing? Do you like alpine trucks and better? Paddling faster and better. I don't understand the alpine trucks. That's maybe something for Marvin, because Marvin is a really good also a skater and surfer. He knows more about the trucks. I'm mostly familiar with the smooth start front trucks, but the alpine, yeah, what do you when you arrive at new spot? How to present yourself at new spots? Amazing. How to read waves, that's a big factor. 100%, Nicole. That's really cool. I do a screenshot right now, so I have all those particular topics. It's amazing. I will do definitely YouTube videos, or in another workshop, I combine it. What to do in first rising spot. How to read the waves. Guys, amazing. I have give you another minute. Someone else, another topic or struggle in surfing? Let me know quick. Alpine truck. Sorry, Marcus, I don't know what the alpine trucks are. Maybe Marvin knows it. Furthermore, I just want to tell you one thing, guys. We might think also to, we have personal coaching. So me as a coach, but I have also a network of Surf Companions ambassador coaches. So if you're interested, I will do a new website soon, which will also let you know about real coaching on the beach. So just for you to know, I get you surf knowledge through YouTube, through the books, Surf Companions books, for the surfskate course, the mobility routines, and with the code you get 50% discount today. But we also want to have real coaching on the beach. We want to stay small properly. And so you might get noticed over the newsletter and email or the YouTube channels, and also on our website. So if you want to stay up to date with the news, follow us on Instagram. So if you have ever questions, surf questions, go on your Instagram, and all the messages are coming to me right now, or the marketing team tells me what kind of messages coming in, because I will see them. So thanks a lot. Guys, if you have any screenshots or of this workshop, feel free to tag us on your social network on Instagram, so we see the real people behind it. How to read waves. Sandy just told how to deal with big waves. That's a good one. No Alpine trucks. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Cool, Marcus. Next one, I know. Maybe you write me that again about the Alpine trucks, and I will get to know. I come back to you again. Guys, big thanks. Applause. I wish I could see you all in person, but I'm so happy that this is possible. I will resend this video, maybe send it to your friends, because I hope that YouTube just saved this one. So if you have friends who might be interested in the knowledge I shared with you guys, just send them the link afterwards. And a big thanks to you. And I can't wait to see the next one. And have fun improving your surfing and your surf skating. I might see you then in the course, and or even in your personal video review if you want. So keep going. And from La Rochelle. Oh, La Rochelle is beautiful, and France. Thanks a lot, guys, and have a great evening. Thanks.